I will not be taking it because I've heard a lot of bad reports about it.
Saya akan cuba kaji dululah.
The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Malaysia has been ballooning since October, and we have been recording over 2,000 new cases daily, consecutively for days. Although hope appears to be on the horizon with a vaccine to be available as soon as the end of the next month. A survey conducted earlier by the Ministry of Health revealed that a shocking 33% of Malaysians are either uncertain or unwilling to take the vaccine. Is the vaccine safe? What are your concerns? Trust it or doubt it? Today, we speak to Azrul Mohd, the Chief Executive of Galen Centre for Health and Social Policy Malaysia, to get his expert opinion on the matter.
I would like to take it, but not immediately. I have to see all the outcome, what's happening, how it's going around with other people first. It's scary in a way because you read all kinds of news.
Because we're not sure the vaccine, how strong it is and is it working, because that that COVID-19, this viruses keep mutating in a while, so we'll see how it goes.
Now, if anyone were made to be guinea pigs or test subjects for the development of these vaccines, it would actually be the thousands of volunteers who agreed to participate in the earlier clinical trials, particularly for phase 3. So for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, which had around 44,000 participants, the AstraZeneca Oxford trials had around 23,000 individuals, and there's been hundreds of thousands of people who were administered with the Sinopharm vaccine candidate before he had actually completed the late stage trial. So when we consider also the fact that there's, as of 31st December, more than 3 million doses of the vaccine have actually gone shots to arms in the United States.
I will take it with certain condition, okay? The six or seven vaccine in the market, I won't go for Moderna and I won't go for Pfizer. Both of these use messenger RNA. It's a new method. You don't know whether it will affect your DNA until maybe years later. For my children, I worry for them because they may have children later.
From the standpoint of the science involved, mRNA vaccines are arguably safer than most, and it only involves fragments of RNA, which instructs our cells to make copies of a specific component of the virus, in this case, the spike protein. So the RNA fragments, I have to emphasize here, cannot and do not cause COVID-19. Once the spike proteins are made, the RNA fragments are broken down and eliminated. It does not merge with your DNA. It does not cause you to be a mutant or be an X-Men. mRNA vaccines have actually been studied for years for flu, Zika, rabies, and cytomegalovirus. This is building on what we already know, or what the pharmaceutical companies, the scientists, the universities already know about the mRNA model, which has allowed for vaccine development to move faster than the traditional methods of making vaccines.
Saya akan tunggu sekejap. Sekarang ni dia banyak daripada teori base, tak ada lagi dia punya sampel yang macam individu yang dah ambil dalam masa 2 tahun 3 tahun, apa side effect dia kepada individu tu kan.
People dying, people getting sick out of this, and I think people who give their opinions, the public who give from overseas and all that, I don't think they're lying.
A safe vaccine does not mean it is completely free from side effects or adverse events, and that's very important to stress here. Even the vaccines that we have right now that we administer, a human body reacts differently, and sometimes they react in an extreme manner. I give you an example. The H1N1 vaccine is actually linked with an extremely small risk of Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a rare autoimmune disorder which causes nerve damage. And it affects 1.6 cases amongst every 1 million people who are vaccinated. Now, natural influenza actually causes 17 cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome per million people. Yes, there are safety concerns, and we wish we had a better understanding in terms of the safety profile. But because this is a public health emergency, there is a certain determination and calculated risk. And for many of these countries that have agreed and approved and deployed these vaccines, it's been decided that these vaccines are safe enough to be deployed into the community as long as we understand the different aspects that need to be of concern. So that's why the advisory changes for some of these vaccines, it's being updated as the vaccination effort is ongoing.
Di luar negara lah, di mana pihak menteri yang tertinggi tu, dia orang dah terima vaksin tapi dia orang bukan fully terima, sebanyak injection tu tipu. Dia tak masuk.
Okay.
So saya tak tahulah benda tu betul atau tidak lah. Sebanyaklah kalau benda yang kita rasa was-was kan. Dapat juga ada video yang macam injection tu dia memang betul mungkin antibody seseorang tak boleh terima, dia collapse.
They're telling the truth. What has affected them, you know, they're daring to come out and tell the truth. So I'm going to go with what the person says on the street, what the person who has experienced it firsthand. I also heard firsthand news about doctors in Germany and stuff. They were coming together, and these are experts in pharmaceuticals, and they said not to take the vaccine. You know, they are actually against the vaccine. There's always an alternative treatment, natural, and I think I'll go that way.
I think, you know, we should trust in the science. We should trust in the data. We should trust in the mandate that's been given to our regulators. And most importantly, not to put more faith in WhatsApp messages and conspiracy theory videos and, you know, these different allegations that, if we look at it, really come from anti-vaxxers who are exploiting the situation today to promote their agenda and causing there to be more hesitancy in vaccinations in general. We recognize that today the government is experiencing a trust deficit with the people, where there appears to be some form of double standards that have been put into place. And we hear every day during the press conference how many people who are being arrested, you know, or are being fined for SOP-related offences. Yet, at the same time, we do not see enough adherence or even respect for those very same SOPs amongst the leaders of this country, which include members of government, civil servants, politicians. In order for any vaccination effort to succeed, the public, the people, must trust that this is the right thing to do in this public health emergency. It is not going to be constructive or beneficial if the public sees these people doing it or doing something concerning COVID-19 in a different manner, yet they're being told to do it entirely different and threatened with fines and penalties if they don't. If they start thinking that there's corruption, that there is opaque agendas, or there is some sort of conspiracy behind some of the decisions that are being made, then this will hamper the effort to protect our population. You know, that the anti-vaxxers themselves will exploit these trust deficits to create stories and misleading information, and also even outright lies in order to forward their agenda.
Now that you have heard it from the expert, do you have clearer thoughts about the vaccine? The Ministry of Science and Technology, or MOSTI, has previously announced that taking the vaccine will be voluntary, and approval for the vaccine are underway. During our interview, some members of the public also said they will actually get the vaccine shots when they are available.
I would probably want to take it because I hope to go overseas, you know, as soon as it's permissible.
Kita sebagai rakyat Malaysia, kita kena percayalah dekat kita punya Kementerian Kesihatan. Kalau dipanggil I untuk the first trial pun, I okay boleh pergi.
Saya ambil untuk orang kata untuk diri kita sendiri kan, untuk semua juga. Pasal vaksin ni untuk mencegah lah.
I'm not saying it's a silver bullet or everything, but for the moment, I think it makes good sense for the people, the frontliners especially. I mean, you're dealing in daily contact with people who are coming in COVID. I mean, I'd rather have something, than nothing at all.